that the normal state of mind of most human beings contains a strong element of what we might call dysfunction or even madness. So to sin means to miss the point of human existence. Intelligence is in the service of madness. And at that time I was contacting with a coach, and he's has been invited a couple of times in television interviews, and at that time I was not in the same state and level of awareness that I am right now. So then from his egoistic state, he started to shout, and his tone started to just level up. That when he saw me going higher in tone, that he suddenly started to calm down, and he started saying, "Oh, why are you speaking like this? Why are you so heated?" So what I want to say is that so many people out there in the field speaking, many counselors, coach, whatever you name it, and they are performing and they are teaching from an egoistic state. That means that whatever actually education that we are receiving, courses that we are taking, it can help us to change actually the outside behavior. It's like, coloring and painting the shell outside, but from inside, there is an ego state that actually changing from outside. It's like it's feeding the ego from inside. It's like helping the ego to boost more and just to say, "Oh, I'm a better person right now. Oh, I stopped doing this, I stopped doing that, and I stopped acting like this, and stop saying that, I changed in that," and so on. So it's like a fake transformation. It's like filling the air with that sense of ego that goes from one person to another to just encourage feeding the ego. And it translated everything and made everything happen in that situation 10 years ago made sense to me, because yes, I know now with my nature that I can sense people and that I can feel the dysregulation, and this inherited dysregulation is even contagious. That when a person is acting and communicating out of ego instead of a communicative and compassionate and empathic state, this vibe of ego is just very contagious. It's either it's gonna encourage others to do the same, or it's gonna hit someone who is sensitive and empathic and can feel vibes like me to just make me feel shaken and unbalanced. So it was like a hit back then that made me feel imbalanced. So we usually get hit by people's vibes, and it's very normal to just lose balance and to feel like we're falling, or we are not in our form, in our shape. And what is really amazing and helping me to regain balance is now when I face such type of people, I just realize that this is their nervous system. They are dysregulated, and that's their issue, that's their state. It's not mine. So it's like going ahead and just protecting myself from receiving the vibes of that person, and this is step number one. And step number two is like reviewing myself and checking with myself, seeing if there is any level of ego, like the motive and the intention of what I'm doing, like the intention of doing the video that I'm shooting right now. What's the real intention and motive behind it? Is it an ego? It's like the fine thin line between doing things for others in a selfless and in a compassionate, empathic way, or it's doing things for myself. It can appear from outside that I'm doing it for others, but actually it's feeding myself, it's feeding my ego, it's making me using others to help me, not the opposite. So with that message, I'm just reminding myself, I'm encouraging myself, and I'm encouraging you to test everything that you listened to, not go and run blindly after each teacher or guru or ever who's speaking, because you don't know the intention, you don't know what kind of motive that person is moving him. And the best thing that I've learned through the years, that I would take the message from the person to work on myself and to learn from it, and not take the person himself or herself to be like inside of me. It's like not turning him to a god, and that's a point. And the other thing is, as I mentioned, to review myself and my intentions and my motives, because whatever I'm doing, if it's not changing me from inside, increasing the level of awareness and consciousness, increasing the level of empathy and compassion, so it's only an outside change that it's very shallow and it won't last. And even if I manage to pretend that I've changed, or even if I change just to feed my ego, it's actually not gonna help others to change. It's not gonna help others to feel and communicate with their points of weaknesses and feel the vulnerability, and then being meek and humble enough to make the change from inside out. And the level of transformation is gonna be very limited, and it's not gonna spread, in different circles around us. So with that, I thank you and see you in another inspirational part from the amazing book of Eckhart and Mueller.